The opposition delivered on their promise to attend the parliamentary session, though took it as an opportunity to continue their accusations, blocking the podium more than 3 times before the session was abandoned by the SP MPs. The Infrastructure and Energy Minister has stopped in Vlora as part of the accountability tour, from where he responded to the accusations of the government by stating the European Commission has already given their positive assessment. In Albania, 50% of men and 10% of women are smokers. On World No Tobacco Day, doctors warned that tumours of the lungs attributed to smoking are affecting people as young as 20. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Thursday, the 31st of May 2018. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Alexandra and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country translated into English. The Socialist Party's Parliamentary Group Chair, Taulont Bala, called the attempt by the opposition to block the normal functioning of the Assembly as pointless. Regardless of the pathetic statements being offered at the Assembly podium, the Assembly of Albania still fulfilled all obligations regarding its normal functioning as the organ that adopts legislation to further work on the government's implementation and execution of law, said Taulont Bala outside the Assembly. Bala said that the Parliament approved today 2 very important draft laws in the fields of energy and agriculture. We have 2 very important agreements, the first with KFV, the German government, which enables very important investments in the power transmission network between Albania and Kosovo and the Tirana-Pristina axis. This is a €42 million investment wholly funded by KFV that is part of an alternative connection to the supply of electricity exchanges between Albania and Kosovo. The transfer to the Assembly enables the disbursement of the fund. Then we can start work on the investment we have called the Kosovo Independence of Energy, said Taulont Bala. Secondly, the agreement with the EBRD regarding 3 supplies relating to irrigation were also approved. These 3 areas are the most important for Albanian agriculture. There was also an important decision made by the Assembly regarding the monitoring of the functions of the new justice institutions as part of the justice reform. The opposition did not allow for a normal parliamentary session, instead blocking the Assembly podium more than 3 times. Given the inability to continue in normalcy, the majority voted the first draft laws for discussion before abandoning the Assembly. The Speaker of the Parliament closed the session of the Assembly after voting on the draft laws of the agenda, but the opposition MPs remained in the Assembly, keeping their promise of controlling the podium. They continued by transmitting live and broadcasting via the official Facebook profile of the Democratic Party. Representatives gave political speeches focused on denouncing the government's connection with crime. Democratic Party Chair Lulzim Basha did not give a speech, but at all times remained standing alongside the opposition MPs. It was the former Prime Minister, Salih Berisha, who spoke from the podium, making accusations against the current Prime Minister. He said the negotiations will not be opened in June, nor in 2020. The Socialist Movement for Integration leader, Monika Kruamadi, invited the Socialist Party MPs to join the campaign, encouraging Rama to leave or even to go as far as to remove Rama, since in the opposite case, the SP's history of 80 years is destined to come to an end this year. I pray for the Socialist Party MPs to leave Rama because he is not a representative of the SP. He is a criminal segment that snatched the Socialist Party 11 years ago and relocated it to the Trafficking and Crime Party, much to the misery of the Albanian people. I call on all honest socialists, especially these few MPs who are still in this hall as representatives of the SP, to be sensitised and to remove Edi Rama if they want to save him. Otherwise, the 80-year history of the SP is destined to end this year, exclaimed Monika Kruamadi. After more than 3 hours of speeches broadcast live on Facebook, the Democrats finally exited the Assembly Hall. Infrastructure and Energy Minister Damian Gjiknuri visited Vlora as part of the government's accountability tour, from where he responded to the accusations of the opposition. In his speech, Minister Gjiknuri said the European Commission has already given a positive assessment of the negotiation process, thus turning June into a key moment in time. According to him, the knowledge that the path to Europe is progressing well is the cause of the opposition launching what he calls a slander campaign. Knowing this, the Democratic Party have thrown themselves into a frontal attack. Seeing they have no hope to convince Albanian citizens of their alternative, they have launched a campaign of slanderous, denigrating attacks on the government. They started with the former Interior Minister, then continued with the current Interior Minister, and now they are attacking me too. So, if you look, those people attack all ministers and MPs of the Socialist Party, all the people with electoral weight that have contributed to the victory of the SP, stated Gjiknuri. The purpose of the Democratic Party, according to Gjiknuri, is to simply create a situation to slander foreigners with the sole purpose of sabotaging the integration process. Sabotage of this process means less investment for Albanian citizens. Their purpose is to leave the citizens in a difficult situation and the Albanian government with few economic opportunities, said Gjiknuri. The Minister of Infrastructure and Energy said that the majority has the commitment to continue the reforms and that in June the EU countries will give their positive vote for Albania. Children are not happy and are not fed well. They do not grow up educated in a good environment and are victims of violence. There are children that are excluded entirely from education as well as having difficulties in accessing health services. The latest report by Save the Children on the eve of June 1st shows that in 1 year Albania has not made progress in this direction, nor have the regional countries, in delivering effective child protection services. Our country ranked 77 out of 175 countries, according to the level of childhood vulnerability, down 6 positions from the previous year's report. Director of Save the Children for Albania, Anila Mecho, says that the report shows high rates of infant mortality with 13.5 deaths per 1,000 births, as well as high rates of youth-aged marriages, depicted by the statistic of 6.5% of girls aged 5 to 19 being betrothed. This position in the global report shows that there are still some children in Albania who have lost their childhoods. Based on these indicators, Albania has the lowest rankings compared to other countries of the region, Bosnia and Herzegovina in the 39th place, Serbia in 46th place, Montenegro in 53rd place, and Macedonia in 66th place. The World Health Organization reports that about 3 million people die of cardiovascular diseases attributable to smoking. Today, we know that smoking kills, but still not everyone has the courage or strength to give it up. Strong posters and images used on cigarette packaging, as well as conversations with medical doctors, testify to the strong consequences of smoking, but that has not correlated to the number of tobacco consumers dropping. Data from the Public Health Institution shows that 50% of men and 10% of women are smokers in Albania. 1 in 4 deaths from chronic illnesses is attributed to smoking, while WHO reported that this year 3 million deaths occur from cardiovascular diseases, most of them caused by smoking. Doctors talk about tumours, one of the most dangerous pathologies. Tumours from smoking are affecting 20-year-olds, a shocking fact that was not known in the previous years, considering that lung tumours are lethal. The white coats that every day treat patients at the emergency department of the hospital Shefqet Ndroçi in Tirana are no exception to this phenomenon, although they know better than others the consequences to their health. Anti-smoking policies in Albania are not lacking, such as the increase in smoking excise duty and the ban on smoking in closed areas. Despite the first steps made in this regard, the statistics relating to both the number of cigarette consumers and the cost to public health remains high in Albania. In Albania, 365,000 beehives are estimated to produce over 3 tons of honey per year. But last year, according to the beekeepers' data, about 40% of them were damaged. As such, the beekeepers gathered in leisure to ask the Minister of Agriculture to give concrete support to the sector. Monitoring of bee diseases, which has been planned a year ago, has not been done, said one of the beekeepers. According to studies, pesticides are one of the key factors that result in harm to the bees. Minister of Agriculture, Niko Peleshi, warned that soon Albania will join a European Commission decision to ban the 3 pesticides. Within a few days, we agree with the decision of the European Commission and are to turn it into a legal act, said Niko Peleshi. Subsidies are another demand of Albanian beekeepers, which, according to Minister Peleshi, will be solved. We will give a kind of subsidy that is not very large, but neither very small, as we are referring to 10,000 lek for each hive, said Niko Peleshi. The hijacking of the hives by thieves is the latest concern for Albanian beekeepers, and as such, they also demanded a special law be implemented to protect their bees. It was decided at a meeting in Leisure to also acknowledge and celebrate International Bee Day, which occurs every year on the 20th of May. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.